I feel like we gave Derek Jeter his week or so of respect, and I am in no way related to Keith Olbermann. I don't really share his views on most things, but I do think that we have to debate whether Jeter is what people are saying he is, and that's one of the greatest players of all time, which really doubt. CB, do you have any difference of opinion there?
I think Derek Jeter's career is a little bit exaggerated because of the fact that he's a New York Yankee and his character as a player, his numbers are good. They're first ballot Hall of Fame probably, but they're not the unanimous Hall of Fame that everyone wants to talk about. I don't think he'll come close to Tom Seaver's record for highest percentage. I think he's a player whose numbers are very similar to a player who retired last year in Todd Helton, who got nearly no consideration, or should say recognition, compared to what Jeter's gotten. I think the numbers are similar there, but Jeter's career is just completely exaggerated by the fact that he's in the New York market. He never won an MVP or anything like that. He was a great player, first ballot Hall of Famer, but not nearly as great as everyone's been talking him up to be.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, and look, I have all the respect for Jeter in the world. Most of my family's Yankees fans, so I grew up watching him. You know, I love him as a person, as a player. But I mean, honestly, I've been watching the past couple weeks, and yes, ESPN, they're acting like the man died. Honestly, he has had a great career, but like you say, he never won an MVP. Won a World Series MVP. Never won an MVP. And in a lot of categories, he can be argued for, best shortstop in some categories. I don't think he's one of the greatest players of all time. If you actually look at the numbers, he's a lot like Craig Biggio. Craig Biggio didn't even get in on the first try. I think that his career was great, but it's talked to be a lot more than it is just because of the person he is and the market he played in. I think if he played he played for the Rockies, would have been a lot different. But yeah, I think we pretty much agree there. He was a great player, just not what most people are saying he was. He's not in the conversation for best ever. So that's it. I don't want to trash the guy any more than I already did, because he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best, people-wise, just character. You never heard of the guy getting in trouble. Actually, I do want to talk about this, though. He has expressed interest in, I don't think he actually did take action yet, but he wants to start up a website in which athletes can share what they're really thinking with fans. That's actually pretty ironic coming from a guy who's spent his whole career saying either no comment or I don't know. So, CB, do you think that'll actually work?
I don't think that athletes are really going to open up anymore just because it's a website designed for athletes to interact with fans. They're not going to really go and knock someone just because there's a website for it. Maybe there's a couple people who might be stupid like that, but I think they're going to share their thoughts the same way they would on Twitter or anything. Now, it might be a popular website, but I don't think you're going to get any more opinions from athletes or anything different than what you've been getting. That stuff's going to be pretty much the same. It might succeed and be very popular, and it's definitely a good idea from Peter, but if you're inside the game, you don't want to share too much of what's going on with the players anyway. You're not going to share if there's disconnect in the locker room or stuff like that. I don't see that happening, but it's definitely going to be a successful website just because the fans are on any way to communicate with players, and that's considering how into sports they are, how much they love older athletes.
100% agree with you there. My issue with it is that I think athletes might be willing to open up, But the problem is that what's going to prevent media members from getting on the site and just taking what they say? And like Derek Jeter expressed that it was designed to prevent media from like twisting their words around. But you can do that anywhere. It's not going to prevent Adam Schefter from getting on there, or Chris Mortensen from getting on there and just sending it to ESPN. But I agree with you. I do think it's going to be successful just because you put Derek Jeter's name on anything. It's going to be pretty successful. So we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to talk a little Garden State Sharks. We're gonna give you an update on our fantasy league. I play CB this week. Upset City in college football this week, and all the rest of our regular segments. So we'll be right back.
Kicking it. What are we kicking? A soccer ball. That's right, Infinity Sports Network now has its very own soccer show. Hosted by none other than Jake Leiker, Byron Tollefson, and Noah Tabor. We bring you all the latest news on and off the pitch in the soccer world, whether it be the international or club level. Like us on Facebook at Kicking It. And don't forget to tune in once a week on Spreaker.com/Infinity Sports Network. Listen to us there.
Alright, and we're back. Just a quick plug for our friends over there at Kicking It. I am actually, despite what Snowball says, I am actually getting into soccer a little bit. I'm waking up early for my boys on Everton to take on Man U tomorrow. I'm getting FIFA this week, so I'll get some more players and teams. CB, how you feel about soccer?
The problem with soccer for me is there's just too many leagues to follow. I can follow I usually follow a lot of the international competitions. I watch some of the friendlies. I always watch the FIFA World Cup and Olympic soccer and all the qualifications and stuff like that. The problem with me is there's just so many club leagues that I have a hard time following it. There's the MLS and there's so many.
Don't even bother with the MLS. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, there's just so many club leagues that it's so hard for me to follow. I have no problem with the sport. I go to all my school's soccer games. I enjoy watching soccer, but it's just so hard for me to follow.
Yep. And Jake actually helped get me into it, and he said just start with the BPL. That's working out. And then whenever any Greek player is involved, I'll watch. So we're gonna. What was that?
You just moved to Greece. Pretty sure that would work out better for you.
I probably should. I can watch. Actually, I'm gonna probably try and go to a Nets or Knicks Rockets game this year, so I can see Costa Papanikolai play. Really excited for him to come over.
So you're excited to go to a Nets versus the Rockets game to watch Costa Papanikolai get towels for Dwight Howard the entire game?
Yes, exactly. He might have a couple minutes, but I just need to see him on an NBA court. Yorgos Printezis, he's probably going to come over in the next couple of years. So real excited for that.
But you're not going to see Kostas play unless the Rockets are up between.
He is very talented, though. He has won EuroLeague MVP. He won the title with Barcelona last year. He's won it with Olympiacos previously. He's a huge dark horse in the NBA, let me tell you.
I'll let you know when he's relevant.
All right. We'll figure that out. Well, we are going to move on to our Garden State Sharks segment. Just to recap last week. We all picked the Eagles against the 49ers. The 49ers covered by half a point and won 26-21. They were favored by 4.5. So we all lost that one. We all picked the Bears against the Packers. I don't know what we were thinking. The Packers -2. Obviously, the Packers covered and won 38-17. What was Jay Cutler doing? Myself and CB picked the Panthers. Honestly, I don't even know why I picked the Panthers.
That went real well.
Yeah, I really don't know why I picked the Panthers. But Snowball got it right. He picked the Ravens. The Ravens covered the 3.5-point spread and won 38-10. Now, I took a shot in the dark here. The Jaguars plus 13 at the Chargers, but they lost by 19. Chargers covered. CB and Snowball got that right. But I did get them on the last game, Sunday night, Saints -3 at the Cowboys. The Cowboys not only covered, but they won 38-17. Fantastic game by Tony Romo and DeMarco Murray. CB and Snowball had no faith in the Cowboys. They picked the Saints. I picked the Cowboys. So I got that one. Now, every week in the season, myself and CB have been tied. We're still tied, 9-9. Snowball's pulling ahead slightly, 11-7. But I'm thinking we're going to catch up with him this week. Or at least I will. So, first game of this week, my Pittsburgh Steelers are favored by 6.5 at the Jaguars. Very generous line for the Jaguars. So we all picked the Steelers. Obviously, it's the Jaguars. Blake Bortles is starting though, and it is important to note. Ben Roethlisberger has talked a lot this week about how many similarities there are between him and Blake Bortles. He's commended Bortles over and over again how he's tough in the pocket. He's kind of a big guy. He also went to University of Central Florida. Ben Roethlisberger went to Miami of Ohio, not exactly the biggest schools. Also, this was actually pretty creepy when I saw it. But when you took Ben Roethlisberger's first game and Blake Bortles' first game, Blake Bortles came in 2 weeks ago in relief for Chad Henne. They both came in their first career NFL appearance, being shut out by more than 20 points against a division rival. The Steelers were playing the Ravens. That was the year they went 15-1, and that was their only loss. The Jaguars were playing the Colts, and they got blown out there. Both Ben Roethlisberger and Blake Bortles threw a touchdown. They threw 2 interceptions. One of them was a pick six, and threw for over 200 yards. So after a certain point, it just got creepy, the similarities. So hopefully, Blake Bortles will have a successful career. Maybe get 2 Super Bowls like Ben Roethlisberger. Let's just hope it does not start this week. We can delay it another week for Blake Bortles. So we all picked the Steelers there. For the second week in a row, we all picked the Bears. Hopefully it doesn't backfire on us this week. Bears plus 2.5 at the Panthers. This week, CB did not make up the lines, but I don't know who made them up. But the Panthers are actually...
Yet?
Huh?
I haven't made up the lines yet.
You made them up the first week, so I just had to take a shot at you there.
That was for our preseason predictions.
Oh, okay. My bad. But how on earth are the Panthers favored? Cam Newton can't even run.
Cricket.
What are you talking about?
I'm set. You asked the question, and no one has an answer for it. So,
all right. Their number one running back is a man by the name of Darren Reeves. Fozzie Whitaker is unavailable. So they're down to like their
He's going to play this week? No?
What?
Isn't D'Angelo Williams going to play this week?
No, I just got an update that he was going to be out. So D'Angelo Williams is out, Jonathan Stewart's out, Mike Tolbert's out, Fozzie Whitaker is out, Darren Reeves is in. So for all you fantasy owners out there, if Darren Reeves is available, I know I picked him up in all my leagues. Go out and get him. And also, do not be like me and pick up Matt Prater because he did get released. So, kind of a mistake on my part. But I didn't drop my kicker, so I'm good. Next up, we have the Cardinals plus 8 at the Broncos. We all know about my love affair with the Cardinals this year. Snowball picked the Broncos. I don't necessarily think the Cardinals are going to win, but I think they'll cover 8 points. I think it's going to be a close one. CB, what do you expect from the Cardinals? And they did announce Carson Palmer's out for the season.
I like their defense. Drew Stanton's been filling in well for Palmer.